Changpeng, from fry cook to fintech titan, CZ's journey to the top started in the most unglamorous way possible. Born in Jiangsu, China in 1977, he moved to Canada with his family in the late 1980s after his father, a university professor, was labeled a pro-bourgeois intellect during China's Cultural Revolution. That forced the family to start from zero. As a teenager in Vancouver, CZ worked part-time jobs to help support his family, including flipping burgers at McDonald US and pumping gas during freezing Canadian winters. It was humble, hard work that would later define his relentless drive. He once said those early jobs taught him to never complain, just solve problems. When he got into computer science at McGill University in Montreal, he finally saw his ticket out. He had a natural talent for programming and an obsession with efficiency. After graduating, he started working at Bloomberg in Tokyo, developing trading software for futures and derivatives, a job that gave him a front-row seat to the world of high-speed finance. But here's what set CZ apart. He wasn't content with comfort. While his colleagues were climbing the corporate ladder, he was already dreaming of building something that would outlive him. In the early 2000s, he quit his high-paying job to launch his first startup, Fusion Systems, providing high-frequency trading platforms for brokers. That decision might have looked insane at the time, but it was the first step in building the mindset that would later create Binance. His focus wasn't just on money, it was on speed, access, and freedom, and those three words would become the foundation of everything he built next. Number 9. The $700,000 Bitcoin bet that changed everything. Before Binance even existed, CZ made a bet that would change his life forever. In 2013, while attending a poker game with crypto enthusiasts in Shanghai, someone mentioned Bitcoin. At the time, one Bitcoin was worth around $600, and most people dismissed it as a nerdy internet fad. But not CZ. He didn't just study Bitcoin, he went all in. Literally. He sold his Shanghai apartment and invested nearly his entire net worth, about $700,000, into Bitcoin. Friends thought he had lost his mind. Even his mother warned him it was too risky. But CZ saw what others couldn't, the dawn of a decentralized revolution that could reshape finance. For the next few years, Bitcoin's price crashed again and again, but he never sold. He spent his days studying blockchain code, reading white papers, and working for crypto startups like blockchain.info, where he managed wallets for millions of users. He even served as CTO of OKCoin, one of China's first major crypto exchanges. But he grew frustrated. The platforms were clunky, the fees were high, and the customer experience was terrible. In his mind, no one had built a crypto exchange that felt as seamless as traditional finance. So, in 2017, with everything he'd learned, he made a bold move, launching Binance. Within 8 months, it exploded to become the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by trading volume. That $700,000 Bitcoin bet, it was now worth hundreds of millions. CZ didn't just ride the crypto wave, he built it. And all because he was willing to risk everything when everyone else was still laughing at Bitcoin memes. Great. Building Binance in just 8 months. When Changpeng Zhao launched Binance in July 2017, he had no office, no headquarters, and no guaranteed future. The crypto market was heating up fast, but so were regulations and scams. Most exchanges were clunky, unreliable, or run by people who barely understood technology. CZ saw a massive gap, and he decided to fill it. He and a small team of developers worked non-stop for months, often sleeping in their chairs and eating takeout while coding through the night. His goal was crystal clear: make crypto trading fast, reliable, and accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. The secret weapon? Speed and simplicity. While other exchanges took minutes, even hours, to process trades, Binance could handle 1.4 million transactions per second. Its clean interface and ultra-low fees attracted both beginners and professional traders. Word spread like wildfire across Reddit, Telegram, and Twitter. In less than 8 months, Binance became the largest crypto exchange on Earth. Think about that. Faster than Amazon, faster than Facebook, faster than almost any major tech platform in history. By early 2018, Binance's trading volume was measured in billions per day, and CZ himself had become a billionaire, appearing on the Forbes list for the first time. But CZ didn't stop there. Instead of being content with success, he started expanding globally, setting up servers across continents and moving Binance AS legal base from China to Japan, then Malta, and finally the Cayman Islands to avoid restrictive laws. He understood one truth about innovation. The only way to survive was to stay mobile and stay ahead. To this day, Binance operates with a famously decentralized structure. CZ once said, "We don't need a physical office. The blockchain doesn't have borders. Why should we?" It wasn't just a philosophy. It was a challenge to how global finance had always worked. His timing couldn't have been better. As governments cracked down on crypto, Binance became the symbol of financial freedom, a place where anyone could trade, no matter their nationality or background. That agility made Binance untouchable in the short term, but it also put CZ directly in the crosshairs of global regulators, a battle he would have to fight on multiple fronts. Number 7. A master of crisis management. Every empire faces its storms, and Binance was no exception. By 2019, regulators from the US, UK, and Japan started investigating Binance's operations, accusing it of offering unregistered securities and failing to comply with anti-money laundering laws. Lesser leaders might have panicked, but CZ played it cool. When the exchange was hacked in May 2019 and $40 million worth of Bitcoin vanished overnight, he didn't hide. Within hours, he went public on Twitter, explaining exactly what happened, how the hackers got in, and how Binance would reimburse every affected user from its own secure asset fund for users. That transparency won him massive respect in a world where most CEOs would have gone silent. Then came another test, the crypto market crash of 2022. As major firms like FTX, Celsius, and Voyager collapsed one by one, Binance somehow stayed afloat. In fact, CZ turned the chaos to his advantage. When FTX began to wobble under the weight of its bad loans, CZ's simple tweet, announcing Binance would liquidate its holdings in FTX-AS token, set off a chain reaction that exposed FTX-AS fraud. Some called it ruthless, others called it justice. But everyone agreed CZ had just reshaped the industry overnight. Through every crisis, he stuck to a single principle: protect users first. While his competitors focused on profits, CZ doubled down on security and transparency. He started publishing proof of reserve reports, showing exactly how much crypto Binance held, a move that pressured the rest of the industry to do the same. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about being accountable. And in the uncharted waters of global finance, that was revolutionary. Number 6. The billionaire who lives like a minimalist. You'd expect the founder of the world's largest crypto exchange to live in a mansion, fly private jets, and flaunt luxury cars, right? Not Changpeng Zhao. Despite being worth billions, CZ's lifestyle is surprisingly minimal. He's known for wearing the same black Binance hoodie almost everywhere. Conferences, interviews, even meetings with world leaders. He doesn't own luxury cars or yachts. In fact, he once said he sold his house to buy Bitcoin, and never bought another one. His reason? "I prefer liquidity." That single phrase sums up his mindset. Don't get trapped by material things. Keep your assets flexible. CZ's simplicity isn't an act, it's his entire philosophy. He sees possessions as distractions. While other billionaires chase status symbols, CZ invests his time in solving problems. To him, money is a tool for freedom, not decoration. He still eats simple meals, rarely takes vacations, and works almost every waking hour. His colleagues describe him as calm, rational, and weirdly unshakable. No matter how chaotic the crypto world gets, from market crashes to lawsuits, CEZ stays collected. He's been known to lead 20-hour workdays, hopping between time zones, answering support tickets personally in Binance's early days, and coding until sunrise. It's not about obsession, it's about mission. CZ sees crypto as a way to level the financial playing field, to give ordinary people control over their own money. He said many times, "Our job is to increase the freedom of money globally." That statement isn't marketing fluff, it's his personal North Star. The irony? The man who built an empire of digital wealth doesn't seem to care much about traditional luxury. He doesn't measure success by how much he owns, but by how much he can change. Number 5. The Nomad CEO. No country, no headquarters. When regulators ask CZ, "Where is Binance based?" his answer is simple: nowhere. That's not defiance, it's strategy. In a world where governments still think in borders, CZ built a company that operates without one. Binance started in China but quickly left when Beijing cracked down on crypto in 2017. From there, CZ moved operations to Japan, then to Malta, and finally spread the business across multiple jurisdictions. Servers, teams, and operations are scattered globally, so no single country can control or shut it down. Critics call this a loophole. CZ calls it evolution. "Bitcoin doesn't have a headquarters," he once said. Why should we? This decentralized structure lets Binance move fast. When regulators tighten rules in one region, Binance adapts instantly, shifting resources to where innovation is welcome. It is a modern version of digital survival, an echo of how nomads once followed resources across continents. And it fits CZ's personal life perfectly. He's a true global citizen. He carries a Canadian passport but rarely stays in one place for long. He's lived in Tokyo, Shanghai, Singapore, Dubai, and more recently, across Europe. His only constant: a laptop, a phone, and a relentless focus on the blockchain. But this strategy isn't just about avoiding red tape. It's just about embodying the spirit of crypto itself: decentralization, mobility, and freedom. While most CEOs sit in offices surrounded by assistants, CZ manages a company of thousands entirely online. Meetings happen over encrypted chat. Key decisions are made through fast, data-driven discussions, not slow corporate hierarchies. Of course, this model comes with challenges. Governments around the world, especially the United States, have accused Binance of dodging regulations. And in 2023, after years of investigations, CZ reached a settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, stepping down as CEO while maintaining his influence behind the scenes. Even then, his attitude didn't change. He simply said, "It's time for the next chapter." That's CZ in a nutshell: adaptable, detached, and always ready to reinvent. He isn't anchored to one place or one title. He's anchored to an idea. Year 4. The user-first code that made Binance unstoppable. Every great empire has a core belief, and for CZ, it's simple: always protect the user. When he built Binance, this wasn't just a slogan slapped onto the website. It became the guiding principle behind every major decision. In an industry filled with hype, speculation, and outright scams, CZ knew that trust would be Binance's biggest asset. Early on, when the platform experienced technical glitches or market volatility, CZ personally jumped into customer support channels to calm users down and offer real-time solutions. That transparency built loyalty fast. He also refused to chase short-term profits by listing every new hot coin. Instead, Binance developed one of the most rigorous vetting systems for new tokens, demanding transparency, utility, and long-term vision from every project. This helped the exchange avoid many of the pump-and-dump schemes that destroyed competitors. Even more impressive, CZ created a user protection fund called SAFU, Secure Asset Fund for Users, storing a portion of trading fees in a cold wallet to reimburse customers in case of hacks or emergencies. It wasn't just marketing, it worked. In 2019, when hackers stole $40 million worth of Bitcoin, Binance reimbursed every affected user within days. No excuses, no cover-ups. That single act solidified Binance's reputation as the most trusted exchange on Earth. It turned casual traders into lifelong customers and made CZ a hero in the crypto community. But there's more. When governments in countries like Nigeria, India, and Turkey cracked down on crypto, CZ didn't fight them with arrogance. Instead, he launched educational campaigns, teaching people what crypto really was and why decentralization mattered. In his eyes, education was the real weapon against fear and misinformation. This user-first mindset didn't just protect Binance. It built a movement. While traditional banks closed their doors to small investors, Binance opened them wider than ever, letting anyone with a smartphone access global finance. For millions in developing nations, CZ wasn't just a businessman. He was a bridge to opportunity. 3. The risk-taker who plays the long game. If there's one thing that defines Changpeng Zhao, it's his relationship with risk. He doesn't fear it. He studies it, respects it, and uses it as fuel. When he sold his apartment to buy Bitcoin in 2013, that was pure conviction. When he left China to build Binance across international waters, that was strategy. When he openly challenged traditional financial systems, that was courage. CZ's approach to risk is rooted in data, not emotion. He once said, "Risk is not what you don't understand. It's what you ignore." That's why he surrounds himself with information, analyzing trends and user behavior constantly. He believes that in crypto the biggest risk isn't losing money, it's losing adaptability. His decision-making style is rapid but deeply analytical. Employees at Binance describe him as ruthlessly efficient. He rarely holds long meetings. Instead, he asks direct questions and makes decisions in minutes. The reason? In the crypto world, markets move every second. Hesitation can be fatal. And yet, for all his speed, CZ plays the long game. When others focus on quarterly profits, he talks about centuries. He envisions Binance becoming an ecosystem that outlives him, a digital infrastructure supporting the next evolution of global trade, banking, and investment. That's why he invests heavily in new frontiers like blockchain education, decentralized finance, DeFi, and Web3 innovation. He doesn't just want Binance to dominate. He wants it to become the foundation for the future economy. There's a quiet paradox to CZ's style. He moves fast, but he thinks long-term. It's like watching a chess grandmaster who plays blitz speed but plans 10 moves ahead. And that exactly why his competitors, even those backed by governments, struggle to keep up. Skirt 2. The quiet exit that shocked the world. In late 2023, the crypto world stood still. After years of relentless expansion, fierce battles with regulators, and global headlines, Changpeng Zhao, the face of Binance, announced he was stepping down as CEO. To many, it felt like the end of an era. But in CZ's eyes, it was just another move in a much larger game. The U.S. Department of Justice had reached a $4.3 billion settlement with Binance, marking one of the largest fines in corporate history. The government accused the exchange of failing to maintain proper anti-money laundering controls. Critics expected CZ to fight back. Instead, he took full responsibility. In a statement that surprised even his enemies, he said, "I made mistakes, and I must take responsibility. It's time for me to step aside." That decision sent shockwaves across the industry. CEOs rarely admit fault, and even fewer walk away from multi-billion-dollar empires they built. But CZ's move was calculated, not emotional. By stepping down, he protected Binance's long-term survival and allowed new leadership to rebuild trust with regulators. And, true to his style, he didn't disappear. CZ quietly shifted his focus toward education, mentorship, and blockchain innovation. He started funding new startups, advising young entrepreneurs, and continuing his mission of increasing the freedom of money. But now, from behind the scenes. It is the same minimalist principle he always lived by. When the mission becomes bigger than the man, step aside and let the mission continue. His departure didn't mark a fall. It marked evolution. Like a general who knows when to leave the battlefield, CZ withdrew with his legacy intact and his empire still standing. Today, Binance remains the largest crypto exchange in the world, processing billions in daily trades, while CZ, still one of the richest men alive, has become a sort of philosopher of the crypto age, a quiet revolutionary guiding the movement he helped ignite. Number 1. The visionary who sees beyond crypto. Most people think of CZ as the crypto guy, but that's only part of the story. What truly defines him is his vision beyond cryptocurrency, his belief in a world built on digital trust, decentralization, and borderless freedom. To him, blockchain isn't just a way to make money. It's a blueprint for rebuilding how society works, from banking to education to governance. He once said, "Crypto is not just about coins. It is about creating a new kind of world, one where everyone has access to opportunity." This belief shapes every decision he makes. He funds research into decentralized identity systems to protect user privacy. He supports humanitarian efforts that use blockchain to deliver aid transparently to war-torn regions. And he continues to speak about how technology can help the unbanked, the billions of people still excluded from traditional finance. CZ also predicts that within the next 2 decades, digital currencies will replace cash and decentralized platforms will run much of the global economy. In his words, "In the future, you ask what country you live in. You ask what network you belong to." That's not a fantasy. It's the logical extension of everything he's built. Binance started as a trading platform but evolved into an ecosystem, spanning wallets, education, charity, and even NFT markets. It's a microcosm of the world CZ envisions, open, fast, and free from the old gatekeepers of power. His critics call him idealistic. His followers call him prophetic. But either way, he's reshaping how billions think about money, ownership, and freedom. And that might be his greatest legacy. From flipping burgers at McDonald's to standing shoulder to shoulder with world leaders, Changpeng Zhao's journey is one of the most extraordinary rags to riches stories of our time. But it's not about wealth. It's about courage. The courage to bet everything on a vision no one else believed in. The courage to build something that defied governments and rewrote the rules of finance. He didn't invent cryptocurrency, but he built the bridge that brought it to the masses. And even after stepping away from the spotlight, his influence is everywhere. In every digital wallet, every blockchain startup, and every dream of financial freedom spreading across the globe. CZ reminds us that revolution doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it's built quietly, by those who dare to think differently, take risks, and refuse to settle for the world as it is. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends who love stories of innovation and resilience. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating figures and ideas. Join the community to unlock exclusive behind-the-scenes content and member-only insights. And if you'd like to support our work directly, tap the Super Thanks button below. Every contribution helps us bring more stories like this to life. Thanks for watching. And remember, true freedom begins when you stop following trends and start building the future yourself.